wage their battle to destroy the evil forces of the Decepticons, the Transformers. The Transformers. More than beastly the Transformers.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another exciting edition of Transformers Reviews. And today, guys, we're going to be taking a look at none other than Cog. Not Cogman, but just straight up Cog. You know, we know that this line, what is their big deal? Cybertron vehicles. And really, when you look at it, I mean, who's really going to argue with this? I mean, there's no Earth equivalent, to be honest. Now, one of the things I do want to mention is this is a combined form of his two smaller modes. And as a single vehicle, I really do like how it looks. Plus, these that will come into play later, you can see that they've gone to great detail to paint the rocket boosters, which can aid as either part of this vehicle mode, or his robot mode, or his combined mode later on. Now, as you can see, he is actually separated. He is just held in by a little slot and little tab. So you just plug them together, boom, you can have the single vehicle, or if you want, you can separate them rather easily and have the two smaller vehicles to go run around on Fortress Maximus in base or city mode, which is who he's intended to pair with. Now, one thing I will say is, for this vehicle mode, there's just this huge gap here, and I get why later on for robot mode, but overall, aside from that, it's a good looking little artillery car, and rolls really awesome, and I love it. Now this one back here with the rocket boosters rolls even better in my opinion, and I just love just the whole tank aesthetic of it is really kind of cool. A little bit of comparison here. Here he is up against Sideswipe, so definitely longer, but you can kind of see how even in Independent, how they kind of scale with him and stuff like that. And now we will go ahead and look at this guy in robot mode. So here we are looking at Cog in robot mode, and if you'll notice, there's a certain Decepticon behind him that there's some strong visual cues and some vibes that I'm getting from Cog that I also just happen to get from Six Shot. I thought that was just kind of a little cool side note. So you actually get a sense of size and scale. So here he is up against Scorponok Tidal Wave, and here he is with Sideswipe. But a closer inspection of this guy reveals that he has an awesome silver chest, which it's really weird because while the price point has gone up, the one thing that while the actual scale size of the Deluxes has gone down, the one thing that has gone back up in our favor is the amount of detail and paint, because now that Takara Tomy is producing basically the same figures that are released in America, we're getting a lot better quality painted figures, which, I mean, he is no exception. And I just love the overall aesthetic. Nothing looks too junky. I'm just loving it. Plus, again, the fact that he has rockets in the bottom of his feet, I love that fact. So if a kid was playing with it, he could pretend like he was flying or whatever. And as you'll see here in just a second, it actually works really well as part of a combined with another Autobot. So let's go ahead and jump into that real quickly. So in order to, armor up other Autobots, you have to do something that's rather kind of violent. You actually just have to literally pull Cog apart in like a million different places. Oh, he's all dead! No, he's not really. You know, I've seen people tend to use Cog with Hound, but I figured let's just do it on Sideswipe. And I'm not going to show you every configuration, because Cog has 1,000,001 different combinations of how he can become combined to other Autobots. Now, one of the most standard ones that I've seen is basically you turn his legs into basically bigger feet to attach to the bottom, which, okay, I'm not too sold on it. It's cool. It gives him a little bit of a height boost. I think one of my favorite things is the fact that his chest converts into a shield cannon, because you can see the cannons there on the bottom side. It's kind of like Optimus Prime's deal they had from Last Night and Age of Extinction. Then probably the most obvious thing is how it attaches to his back to make the older the shoulder cannons, which actually, you know what, this is actually I don't mind this, to be honest. I think it actually looks pretty cool. But let's go ahead and move on to another variation of his combination mode. I'm not gonna lie, this does make sideswipe look a little bit wider. Now, I love this bigger, bulkier jetpack, which is a definite upgrade from the one he had in the G1 cartoon, but I do kind of like that. Plus, you can go ahead and add the cannons up top, but whenever I did that, he can support the weight. That's not the issue. It looked like a little ridiculous overkill. So I prefer to add it to the arm and stuff like that. But guys, like I said, with him, you can do a million different combos in a million different ways and find new and fascinating ways to make it fun. He is definitely worth a pickup. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, guys, we'll see you in another review.